Well, the GOP is getting ready to pick off a Senate seat in Georgia. Joining me now is Republican candidate Herschel Walker. Mr. Herschel Walker, thank you, sir, for coming on. And I just want to know, in Georgia, aren't inflation and recession and crime and open borders the key issues like they are in the rest of the country? Not MAGA Republicans, but those key issues?
They are. They're a very big issue, and the reason that they want to address those issues there is they're embarrassed. They're embarrassed, and they know they can't win on those issues. So they're going to talk about everything else except that. But here in Georgia, people are concerned about the inflation. They're concerned about crime. But that's something that my opponent, Senator Warnock, do not want to talk about. But I'm going to continue to talk about it because people are concerned about that.
Herschel, if you don't mind me calling you Herschel, doesn't Senator Warnock,
yes,
who probably shouldn't have been senator in the first place, but that's a different segment, doesn't he have a very far-left voting record until, like, the last 5 weeks or something? I mean, he's voted for all these crazy things. He's stood for all these crazy things. And he's never, ever been in favor of tough on crime, for example.
Well, you know what's so funny about it? I call him a wolf in sheep's clothing because he's pretending he cares about the people. But he's voted with Joe Biden 96% of the time. And right now, because of midterm, he's trying to distance himself from Joe Biden. Well, 96% of the time means that you believe in higher taxes. You believe in open border. You believe in calling our men and women in blue names like thugs and criminals. That's what he's done. And right now, he's trying to pretend like he's care. And I want the people out there to know that he doesn't care, that he's cut from the same cloth as Joe Biden and voted 96% of the time, meaning that he doesn't care about Georgia. He seems to care about Joe Biden. That's why I've been encouraging everyone that listening to me to go to teamherschel.com, because I can promise you I'm going to get in and fight for the people of this state. I'm going to fight for the people of this country because we're good people. You know, you listen to Joe Biden's speech and he tried to separate people. You listen to my opponent's speech, he tried to separate people. And then later they pretend that they care. They don't care. If they care, they'll be doing something about it.
You've been an entrepreneur, right? You've been in business. You understand how the world works in the enterprise system. Warnock has no clue about that. As far as I can tell, he has no clue.
Well, not only this, he has no clue. It seems like a lot of his people there in the Democratic Party has no clue. I'm not sure that anyone ought to know that you don't spend what you don't have. The way they try to fix a problem by throwing more money at it, well, that doesn't work. You need to bring something in and rather than putting something out all the time. You know, I've created jobs. I've signed a paycheck for people before, and I understand budgeting, and I do understand you don't just continue to spend. You have to get out and you got to work. You got to bring this workforce back, get rid of some of the regulations so people can start building businesses here. We need to become energy independent again. You talked about that earlier. Yet we're going to our enemies to ask them for energy, and that's something that my opponent has done. He voted for things like this. He voted to put men and women in sports. And that's one thing I said he needed to come and debate me on October the 14th to show people that there's a differences between Herschel Walker and Senator Warnock, that he's voted for things that the Georgia people are not for.
Herschel Walker, you are a winner, sir. You are a winner. I'm out of time. I hope you'll come back before this thing's over. But good luck on the campaign trail. Thank you.